There is something very important that I want you to know, because the money goes straight to the seller.
Welcome to How to Expat. My name is Sam and I'm here with Juan Camilo.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk about what the process is if you want to buy real estate here in Colombia. So let's say I'm a foreigner, like I am, and I want to buy real estate. What exactly are the steps, like from start to finish? What do I have to do?
Okay, I'm gonna start from the obvious things before. So the most important thing is like learn about the city a bit, like how the city can fit your lifestyle. Medellin is a huge city. Actually, there is like 8 cities attached in one whole thing. So according to your lifestyle, your friends, what you want to do here, so you should pick the right area. So my advice is come over, visit the city, and first of all, rent a place or different places and pick the right neighborhood for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we always also say on the tours Tasha and I do, is you don't know what you don't know. So things here could be different, and there's just things you have to know before you come first. So make sure to live at least a couple of months in the place you will want to buy, because changing apartments is way easier than having to buy and sell apartments.
Okay, so right after you've picked the right place, the right neighborhood you want, so there is several ways to find the right property in Medellin. The local market has no MLS for those who lives in the States or Canada, so it's so hard to understand how the market works. So it makes very deorganized and informal the market. So there is a property who can be in the market for a while, or there is a property who's never in the market and the seller just opened the door at the same time you're watching another unit and they have decided to sell it at that right moment and show the property. So be prepared for that kind of stuff. After that, you have to interview your agent in the same way you do in your own country, like telling what you want and be sure that the guy will show you what you're looking for. Okay, when you are in the property, make the right questions right there. Try to find who's attached in the walls and what is included on the property, what is not. As I told before, this is very informal, so you got to make the right questions. So when you see the property, you can submit the offer.
And how is it, like if I'm a foreigner, some Latin American countries, you don't really own the property, let's say the area and the house and things. How is it in Colombia? I heard it's quite similar to the US, right? So if you buy, you own the land and the property, right?
Yes. When you buy a property, you own the land, and the property itself. Foreigners have the same rights as a local to buy real estate in Colombia. There is no restrictions in areas, type of properties or construction. So there's the same rights in everyone in the country.
Okay, so and even if I have a visa or no visa, does that matter?
You don't need a visa. You don't need a special permit. You can buy your property with the passport. There is no restriction at all. It depends if you want to make your visa, and you know better than me that you can use the investment on a real estate to get your visa.
Okay, so I found my property and now I want to close. What do I have to do more or less? Okay,
more or less you have to submit an offer. There is no money involved as in the US. If I'm allowed to make the comparison, so you don't have to put money down and submitting the offer. It's just kind of a verbal offer that the agent has to send them by WhatsApp or email to the seller. So then just start the negotiation process. Then you agree the price, and then is when you go and sign a purchase agreement document. It is usually made by a lawyer. I recommend the foreigners buyers to make through a lawyer because they can use that document for your visa later on. So you submit an offer and you go to the notary and you put some money down. Roughly between 10% to 30% is the common amount. It will depend if the property has a mortgage or not. So I can give you more details if you send me an email.
Specific questions.
So you put the money down, sign the agreement, and put a time frame. When you accomplish the time framing, then you sign the titles and you give the balance of the amount of the money. Okay. This is the process.
And how is it? I heard for foreigners getting a mortgage here is pretty impossible, and the interest rates are anyway very high, right? So it's usually cash buy, right?
Yeah, if the high rate of interest is, we can call it impossible, it is, because they are so high for foreigners. I know there are some companies or some people, like individuals, that might be allowed to make some mortgages, but the financial system, it's very complicated.
So I think 99% of foreigners, they buy just cash on hand, not on hand, but just cash. So yeah. Is there anything else? So now I have the contract, the money transferred over there. Is there kind of a in-between space where you don't really know what's happening?
Yeah, there is something very important that I want you to know, because the money goes straight to the seller. So there is no escrow or lawyer escrow or any third party receiving money. So everything goes straight to the seller. And there is a penalty in the contract that in case someone fails the contract or just fail down or run away from the contract, there is a penalty that they can collect to the other party. So that's usually the way we make negotiation here, and it is very important to make the due diligence before signing any document.
Okay. So there's some lawyers that can help you with kind of screening the people or the business you're about to make the contract with, right?
Yeah, there is lawyers, and the other thing is pick the right real estate agent, because in Colombia anyone is a real estate agent.
Oh yeah, that's
a waiter, a taxi driver, a maid, whatever people in Colombia, it's a real estate agent, but they do not know the background of the property, and they do not know all of these details that can be a surprise in the future. So do not try to avoid to be excited because of the price of the property, because this guy is collecting less commission of the deal, because it will start to taste bad. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so yeah, then you sent the money through, you received the keys for the apartment. Is there anything else you have to do after it's your property?
You're gonna take possession of the property right after you sign the titles and you give the money. Okay, so when you take possession of the property, there is a document that we sign. It's a paper attached to the titles that you received the property in the conditions you saw it. Okay, usually sellers do not paint it too much, but it has to be in as much as the same way you saw it when you visit the property during the process. So yeah, just make an inspection that doors are closing, the faucet are working, and everything is on place. So then you have possession of the property and you can move in and you're ready to go.
Okay. Is there anything more you want to add to the process?
No, just pick the right advisor to this process. It's not easy to buy in a country you don't know. The process is so different. So I think even if you have a lot of money or not, there is savings that you're investing, so you have to take care on.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to work with Juan Camilo to find your perfect place here in at least in Medellin, Colombia, send us an email and the contacts down below. We will connect you. And yes, thanks for the video. Is there anything you want to add?
Thank you so much. I'll be here in this great city to live, great weather, and just contact us. No problem.